Oh, there's been a little twist added to it, by the way. For it is now a representation of an energy known as, quote, the wonders, unquote. It is also a representation of your energy. And if you observe it carefully, you will observe your movement within it. Now, we know that you have many, many questions. And for the benefit of those listening to this particular audio tape, we will open ourselves to questions now on this particular subject only, this particular session only, at this particular time. If you choose, please ask a question.
Wonders, maybe pause a moment first while I turn over the tape.
Please.
Thank you, Wonders.
We thank you, dear Maggie.
Wonders, what precipitated us for choosing to disempower ourselves?
You began to believe your own press clippings as well.
Oh, I see.
You began to... you feared, mostly, that if you were to make a choice that would lead you to true empowerment, that you would lose your ability to control your society, your civilization. You were mostly in positions of great power in that civilization, and you feared losing that power. You perceived power to be an ability to be greater than others, rather than the ability to choose. Do you see?
I do. I observe that in these times we're not in positions of power.
You are. You just don't perceive the extent of power that you exist in, because you've chosen to subliminate within yourselves your awareness of the extent of the power you have presently in society. All of you. We're here to reawaken you to the awareness of the power that exists within you, but it exists only when you empower yourselves. Do you see? This is the correlation that must be made. In order to explore interdimensionality, you must be willing to choose to really, truly empower yourself by going within the self, appreciating the self. And this, dear friends, is an expression of true power. Do you see?
This notion of the need to control society also relates closely, from my perspective, to the notion of the need to control the self.
Very much so. And the greater the... You see, in this existence, most of you have begun self-exploration. In fact, all of you have. And even those of you listening to this particular tape, to a degree, have. We assure you it isn't only those in this particular room that we're speaking to presently. Those of you who would listen to this series, those of you who would listen to this tape, have listened to it because you are directly related to this particular conversation. But as to your empowerment in this existence, you have chosen self-appreciation, self-discovery, and you are moving through an exploration of letting go of control and moving into command. Why do you think we gave the Control versus Command series virtually when we began speaking? It was by design, we assure you, not by happen chance.
My perception of my own experience really recently is in terms of sharing myself, being open with myself, to myself and then with others, is one in which I truly perceive a release of the need to control.
Yeah.
Much more so.
We assure you this is only the beginning. Your exploration will go much further than this. You see, openness is not about being open every now and again. Under these circumstances or that circumstance. Do you think?
Yes.
You mentioned that we can move beyond symbology, but on the other hand, you advise us to use the symbols to retrace history.
Yes. For the retracing of your history, you will recognize the extent to which you gave power to those symbols, so that a new choice can be made.
So by appreciating completely, we can move beyond the need of symbols.
Exactly. We couldn't have said it better.
And does this hold for radiance technique too?
Absolutely. The symbology embedded within the radiance technique is part of the symbology of that which we gave in that particular moment of time and space. It isn't complete. It isn't whole. Do you think?
Yes.
What we're suggesting here to each and every one of you, and to all of you listening to this, is begin exploring the references of symbology, the limitations of symbology, the terms of symbology, that you may understand, first, its own limitations embedded within it. Secondly, that there is an interconnection of every symbol to each other. And thirdly, that eventually, if you combine all of the symbology of existence, you will move to a perspective of that which was given at the time when we came through in that particular moment of time and space. Do you see? Then you can reawaken yourselves to, and we did say this at the beginning of this particular section, to the intensity and extent of the existence that you exist in and your empowerment within it. Do you see?
Yes.
Don't give the power to the symbols. Use them to reawaken within you the memories of that which already exists within you. It's a tool. Eventually you can set aside the tool. Do you think? Now, there's time for one more question. Yes, dear Maggie, please.
Thank you.
You were waiting when you were planning to ask this question.
The snake that appeared in the house.
Yes.
How did it manifest itself?
We assure you, it wasn't as, it didn't just appear out of thin air. It basically made its way into the house by hanging on to a package. Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
It's not that it appeared out of thin air. However, don't you find it rather interesting that there was a snake in your house?
Absolutely.
When in truth, how many snakes actually move into houses? Snakes don't.
No.
They don't like houses. It's not their forte, do you think? But it came into this household in order to reawaken within you the awareness of this particular conversation. Now, do understand, you did ask it to come. Do you think?
Yes.
It wasn't you alone. We assure you, all of the individuals in this household chose this. The energy was created that would allow it to come. Do you think?
Yes.
Do not minimize this one's ability. We assure you, he underestimates himself dramatically. But he does have the ability to create an environment that is so loving, so absolute, that even a snake will feel comfortable in it. Do you see?
Yes.
Don't underestimate it.
No.
Don't underestimate yourself.
No.
You have that ability. Do you see?
Yes.